Hello friends, welcome to our brand new Python tutorial series. This series is designed for absolute beginners as well as experienced professionals. Even though you didn't write a single line of code in your life, still I hold your hand all over the series. So, I emphasize that any of you can learn Python with this series, if you have the courage. So, let's sit and enjoy the video. I am Dilan Chandrajit here from zeklabs.com to help you to improve yourself as a techie person. If this is the first time you hear about us, we are Zek Labs. We publish tutorials, courses and explainer kinds of videos on software engineering, cybersecurity, Linux and etc. First, I am going to tell why Python is a must for any of the living being out there. The very first reason is anyone can learn Python at any age. It is one of the easiest language we have today. Even though you are not a technical guy, still you might be a good Python programmer. The next reason is the popularity of Python. It is almost one of the famous languages out there. So, professionals, educators and students all over the world are using Python for implementing almost all the requirements they need. It covers machine learning and AI, data science, web development, and security as well. The huge numbers of libraries are another important reason. You can find a suitable Python library for anything you think of, so that developers can reuse those libraries to speed up their developments and implementations. Last but not least is the wide community of Python programming language. If you have any issue or if you are looking for a help, there are thousands of individual Python experts who are willing to help you. There are enough numbers of forums, Q&A sites, and even free online resources for learning Python. For this tutorials, I am using my Ubuntu machine. But since the majority of you are using Windows, I am going to explain how to set up the development environment in Windows also. If you are using Windows for the development tasks, you basically need two pieces of softwares. You need to install Python as the very first dependency. Without it, Windows can't understand the language you are going to use. The second requirement is an IDE. In this case, I am going to use VS Code Editor. It has all the features we required for our developments. So, let's set up the development environment in Windows. As the first step, I am going to install Python. In the browser, search for the keyword Python. Hopefully, the very first result will be the official Python website. In the top header menu, we have the download page. So, click on it and you may see the link for downloading the Python setup. Let's download it. It will take up to few minutes as your internet connection speed. When it is downloaded, simply double-click on the setup to install Python. In the install wizard, make sure to tick the option in the bottom of the window. It will add the Python binaries to the path, so that you can use Python command anywhere. And initiate the install by clicking on the Install Now option. It will take up to several minutes depending on your computer. When the installation is completed, simply close the window. So, that's it. You successfully installed Python on your Windows computer. In order to verify the installation, open the command prompt and type python -- version. It will display the current Python installation you have on your computer. So, for me, it's 3.10.4, which is the latest version as today. The next software we gonna need is VS Code. It is a source code editor developed by Microsoft. So I use it as my code editor. But if you have personal favorite, feel free to use any code editor you like. If you search for the keyword VS Code in browser, you may find the official website as the very first result. In the website, we have big blue button for downloading it. Let's download. Again, it will take few minutes to download. Once it is downloaded, double-click on the setup file to execute it. In the setup wizard, accept the agreement and click on next several times until installation begin. After the installation completed, VS Code will automatically start. The very first window of it is for configurations. Since I don't care about it much, I just chose the appearance I need and mark as done. So, that's it. We installed the code editor also. If you are a Windows user, we already cover the setup process for you. So, you can skip this chapter since this chapter is intended for Linux users. Please see the description to find timestamps of the next chapter. But if you are using any Debian-based operating systems, steps are same as this. For Red Hat-based operating system users like Fedora and CentOS, there are thousands of free tutorials in YouTube to teach you how to install these softwares. Even for the Ubuntu, we need the both of the software we installed in Windows. So, we need Python and VS Code. But in the case of Ubuntu, it ships with Python. So we don't have to install it. So, let's install the only one software we need, the VS Code editor. As usual, we visit the official website of VS Code, code.visualstudio.com. In the website, we have two options. The first one is for dev file and the other option is the RPM file. That's what I mentioned before. If you are using Debian family OS such as Ubuntu, Debian or Kali Linux, you have to download the dev file. But if you are using Red Hat family operating system, download RPM file and follow particular installation tutorial on YouTube and come back. Since I am using Ubuntu, I download dev file. It will take some time to download the file depending on your internet speed. When it is downloaded, open the downloaded location. You can right-click on the window and open the terminal. In the terminal, type ls and hit enter to see the files in the directory. Here we see the Debian file starts with code. You can use default dpkg command to install this package. But I prefer to use gdeb instead since it does the dependency resolving tasks for us. So, first install gdeb using apt tool. When you hit the enter button, it asks for the password confirmation. So type the password and hit the enter button again. And then, apt tool asks whether we need to install the package. Since we need it, press enter. Now apt tool will download the package with its dependencies and install on our Ubuntu computer. It will take several minutes depending on the speed of your computer and the internet connection. Once it installed, we can use gdeb command to install the Debian file we have. As you see, gdeb installation is completed. Now it's time to install the VS Code Debian package we already downloaded. So I type sudo gdeb and the file name of the downloaded package. When you hit the enter, it will ask for the confirmation. To confirm the installation request, type y and hit enter. Now, gdeb will install the VS Code package on our Ubuntu computer. It will take about 15 seconds for the installation. Once the installation is completed, it's time to check the VS Code program. So I search for the VS Code and execute it. So, again we end up with the configuration window. I chose the color preference and mark as done. We successfully installed VS Code editor on Ubuntu. So that's the end of this video. In this video, we discussed why we should learn Python and how can we set up the Python development environment. In the next video, we are going to write our very first Python program. If you don't mind, you can share our channel among your friends. Motivate me to create these kind videos every day by smashing the like button. If you subscribe to us, you may not miss any valuable video like this. Don't forget to join our community. See you in another video.